Hey, it's Zach Braff, and you're watching the Broadway.com show.
Welcome to the Broadway.com show, your weekly guide to everything happening on the Great White Way. Or as we like to think of it, that awesome show you watch when you're not taking all of those BuzzFeed quizzes. Let's get started with the news. What's the buzz, Paul?
Audra McDonald is set to shake up the season by bringing the Billie Holiday bio show, Lady Day at Emerson's Bar and Grill, to Broadway, just in time for the Tony Awards. Yes, that means Lady Audra could win her 6th trophy. If it's deemed a play with music rather than a full-on musical, she could complete her set by winning in the lead actress in a play race, adding to her lead actress in a musical, featured actress in a play, and featured actress in a musical trophies. That would make Audra the most honored performer ever. And let's face it, it couldn't happen to a nicer Broadway powerhouse.
Don't tell her not to live, just sit and putter. After dressing like Barbara, belting Don't Rain on My Parade on every stage she can find, and literally playing a character on TV who stars in Funny Girl on Broadway, Glee's Lea Michele could finally be playing Fanny Brice for real on the Great White Way. Glee creator Ryan Murphy has officially obtained the rights to the musical, and eventually, love it or hate it, Michelle's simply gotta march, her heart's a drummer. No one's gonna rain on, well, you know.
Bronx Bombers got a Bronx cheer on Broadway. Eric Simonson's baseball play, which imagines Yankees greats past and present, will close on March 2nd at the Circle in the Square Theater after playing scarcely 2 months on the Great White Way. After Lombardi and Magic Bird, this is the 3rd sports play Simonson has written, and maybe he should take his peanuts and Cracker Jack because we're not sure he'll ever be back.
Pushing Daisies, the musical. Everyone remain calm. Just kidding, let's freak out. The show's creator, Brian Fuller, admitted that the way too short-lived cult hit is being prepped for a musical adaptation. The best part? He wants original stars Kristen Chenoweth and Lee Pace to be a part of it. Excuse me while I die, and be brought back to life by Ned, and then never touch him again because I want to live to see this over and over and over again.
London Calling. Arthur Darvill, most recently seen on Broadway as Guy in Once, is set to reprise the role in the West End starting March the 17th. Meanwhile, the Tony-winning musical Memphis is also crossing the pond and will open at the Shaftesbury Theatre in October, headlined by Bodyguard star Beverly Knight. Another Tony-winning musical, In the Heights, will receive its London premiere in the large Southwark Playhouse in May. And sadly, the world premiere of Andrew Lloyd Webber's latest musical, Stephen Ward, is to shutter March the 29th at the West End's Aldwych Theatre.
I'm Michael C. Hall, and you're watching the Broadway.com show.
Tom Kitt and Brian Yorkie's new musical, If Then, starring Tony winner Idina Menzel, is all about examining different destinies. I recently asked the talented cast of the show to imagine their own alternate fate. If they weren't performers, then what would they be? Find out in this week's Pop Poll.
I always wanted to be an astronomer.
When I was 6, I wanted to be a fire truck, so I can't be that. So I'd probably be a lawyer.
I mean, I've written some, I've directed some, I've produced a little bit, I've taught. So it'd probably be something in there.
I would be teaching high school English.
An attorney.
I like to think that I would have been a professional tennis player, but everybody makes fun of me when I say that because I didn't really take that many lessons. I just think that I had talent.
Playing first base for the New York Yankees.
Probably doing commercial real estate, I think. I'd be selling something.
I'm thinking a lot about being a chef.
If I wasn't an actor, then I would probably be a stripper, if I'm being honest. Just one of those sad, like almost 40-year-old strippers. So I'm glad that this worked out.
If we had a magic lamp, we would wish for world peace, X-ray vision, and 2 tickets to Aladdin on Broadway. We got the lowdown on the new Disney production at the show's press event, and Broadway.com photographer Bruce Glickus snapped this hot shot of James Monroe Iglehart getting up close and personal with his Genie alter ego. See him make your wish come true beginning February 26th at the New Amsterdam Theater.
I'm Will Swenson, and you are watching the Broadway.com show.
Our star of the week is Leonardo DiCaprio. Yes, partly because he's up for an Oscar this weekend in Wolf of Wall Street, but mostly for what he's been up to uptown here in New York. The Titanic star stopped by A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder and behaved so beautifully he could write a gentleman's guide to Broadway etiquette. And he also says he's intending to tread the boards soon. Paging all producers.
Thumbs up to HBO's Girls for a very Broadway-centric episode. Sure, there are references to George Bernard Shaw, Sutton Foster, Kinky Boots, and Kristen Chenoweth, but the real reason this episode rocked is guest star Patti LuPone. Patti, who played herself of course, practically stole the whole show with an all-too-brief scene offering unsolicited advice to Lena Dunham's character Hannah. Even if you're not a Girls fan, you've got to cheer when Patti dishes about the Elephant Man's sex life. Yes, you heard me.
This week, we're giving a thumbs down to audience members who think it's okay to eat potato chips, crunch water bottles, and hold conversations in the front row of a Broadway theater. In her backstage video blog, beautiful star Jessie Mueller called out a couple of recent theatergoers who thought they were at a clam bake instead of a Broadway show. Girl is channeling Carol freaking King, and you're munching on Doritos. For shame, people. For shame.
Time for the Smackdown. Last week we asked you whether you were more excited by Kristen Chenoweth playing Lily Garland in On the 20th Century or Dolly Levi in Hello Dolly on Broadway. Well, the results are in and 58% of you preferred Dolly. This week, the Broadway revival of Les Miserables is set to begin performances on the Great White Way, which got us thinking, which other 1980s musical hailing from the UK should be next in line to reappear on the main stem? We've got fond memories of Cats, but maybe Miss Saigon is a movie in your mind. Tweet your vote for Miss Saigon or Cats to @BroadwayCom with the hashtag #BWaySmackdown and tune in next week for the winner.
Thank you for watching the Broadway.com show. We leave you with a rehearsal clip of Heathers, the pitch black musical comedy based on the classic 80s movie that starts performances March 15th at New World Stages. See you next week.
If she had your shot, she would leave you to rot.